Can you charter a private jet after a major event ends? Yes. But if you wait until the event is over to think about the exit, you are already late. That is the part people do not want to hear. They plan the arrival, they plan the suite, they plan the dinner, they plan the wristbands, the hotel, the driver, the seats, the access. Then the event ends, and suddenly everyone wants to leave at the same time. That is where weak private aviation planning gets exposed. If you want private jet charter explained for serious buyers, not status tourists, subscribe to Jetmaster. This channel is for people who care about time, control, privacy, and not looking amateur when the trip actually matters. By the end of this video, you will know the exit questions most buyers forget to ask until it is too late. Aircraft parking, departure slots, crew duty, ground transport, airport congestion, and the one mistake that can turn a private jet exit into a very expensive waiting room. Here is the blunt truth. The arrival is the easy half. People arrive over 1, 2, sometimes 3 days. Aircraft movements are spread out. Cars are spread out. Passenger showtimes are spread out. FBOs can breathe. But the exit is different. After the final whistle, the final lap, the final keynote, or the final encore, everyone starts moving at once. Passengers, cars, aircraft, fuel trucks, handlers, crews, security, air traffic control, everyone converges into the same narrow window. So the question is not only can we find an aircraft, that is beginner thinking. The real question is, can the aircraft, crew, airport, ramp, ground transport, and airspace all move when the crowd wants to leave? That is the real private jet after major event question. And that is where the amateurs get punished. Point 1. Size aircraft sees Izzy Airzu. Aircraft availability is not the same as airport access. This is one of the biggest traps. Someone says, yes, we found an aircraft. Sell the good. But that does not automatically mean you have a realistic exit. The aircraft may be available, but can it use the airport you want? Can it park there? Does the airport require prior permission? Is there PPR? Are there reservation procedures? Are there event departure windows? Are there ramp limits? Is the FBO already compressed? Can the aircraft actually depart when your group arrives? That is the difference between having lift and having a plan. A jet sitting somewhere in the system is not enough. During major events, airports can have special procedures. Some may require parking reservations, some may use structured arrival and departure flows, some may push aircraft into drop-and-go operations, some may have limited ramp space, some may be buried under fuel, handling, and traffic pressure. So if the provider says, we have a jet, your next question should be, do we also have a confirmed airport exit? That is the mature question. Not, is the aircraft nice? Not, how many seats? Not, can we get a better cabin photo? Ask, what is the actual departure playbook? On-field parking, drop and go, alternate airport, confirmed PPR, confirmed FBO handling, confirmed passenger showtime? If that answer is vague, quote is not mature as mir enough. A beautiful jet with a weak exit plan is not premium. It is expensive confusion. Point 2. The closest airport may be the worst airport after the event. This sounds wrong until you understand the exit. The closest airport looks best on the map, shorter drive, closer to the venue, cleaner story, easy to explain. But after a major event, the closest airport may also have the most pressure. The most ramp compression, the tightest parking, the slowest road access, the heaviest FBO demand, the most constrained departure flow, the most passengers trying to move at once. That is why a farther airport can sometimes produce a better exit. Not because farther is better, because reliability is better. The amateur plan chases proximity. The serious plan chases control. If a secondary airport adds 30 or 40 minutes of driving but gives you cleaner parking, better aircraft positioning, less FBO congestion, and a more realistic departure window, it may be the better private charter decision. This is especially true after high-demand events. Major games, major races, fight nights, award weekends, large conferences, high-profile concerts. The closest airport may be packed with everyone who had the same obvious idea. So ask, is the closest airport actually the best airport for the exit? What is the alternate airport? Has it been vetted? Does it improve parking, handling, aircraft availability, or departure flow? What is the ground transfer time from the venue? And what happens if traffic around the venue breaks the plan? This is not overthinking. This is exactly where the trip is won or lost. Sanadiu, point 3. Drop and go changes the return mission. When parking fills up, an aircraft may drop passengers off, then reposition somewhere else. That can work beautifully if it is planned early, but if it is treated as an afterthought, it can fail painfully. Here is what buyers miss. If the aircraft cannot park at the event airport, it may have to leave after dropping you off. Then, after the event, it has to come back into a busy airport area to pick you up. That means the return leg depends on timing. Airport flow, crew duty, ramp access, air traffic control release, passenger showtime, fuel planning, and sometimes the aircraft's ability to re-enter the event airport at all. So the question is not only where do we land? The better question is where does the aircraft wait? If the aircraft is not staying on field, you need to know the re-entry plan. Ask, is this on-field parking or drop and go? If drop and go, where does the aircraft reposition? When does it return? What passenger show time protects the departure? What happens if the event runs late? What happens if traffic delays the group? Is there enough crew duty margin? If the answer is, we will figure it out, translate that carefully. It may mean the return plan is not actually locked, and after a major event, we will figure it out is not a strategy. It is a mood. Point 4. Air traffic control and crew duty can break the exit. Private jets are not immune to airspace math. That line matters. At a major event, demand can exceed capacity. Airports and airspace may use traffic management, ground delays, ground stops, release times, required routes, event-specific departure procedures. A client can be at the FBO, the aircraft can be fueled, the crew can be ready, and the flight can still wait for release. That is not always a service failure. Sometimes it is the system managing capacity. This is where the spoiled buyer version of private aviation gets embarrassed. Private does not mean the sky belongs to you. Private means you have more control over the plan, not unlimited control over the system. Crew duty is another issue. Late night event exits can eat crew margins fast. The event runs late. The driver gets stuck. The aircraft has to reposition. Fuel takes longer. The ramp is congested. Air traffic control holds the release. Now the crew day is getting tight. If the provider cannot explain crew duty margin for the exit, that is a red flag. Not because something will definitely go wrong, but because the quote has not fully matured. Ask, how much crew duty margin exists? What happens if the event runs 30 minutes late? What happens if it runs 60 minutes late? What happens if it runs 90 minutes late? Is there an airport curfew? Is there a crew legality issue if the departure slips? Is a backup plan already discussed? The time to ask those questions is before the event starts, not at midnight when everyone is tired and the airport is already under pressure. Point 5. Ground transportation to the FBO is part of the flight plan. The chauffeur is not decorative. After a major event, the car is not just a car. It is the bridge between the venue and the aircraft. Road closures matter. Security perimeters matter. Police control matters. Ride service saturation matters. VIP exits matter. Parking locations matter. Alternate airport drive time matters. If your ground transfer is vague, your aircraft plan is exposed. Do not approve a private jet charter plan after a major event without understanding how passengers get from the venue to the FBO. Ask, where does the car wait? Which route does it use? What happens if that road closes? What is the latest passenger showtime? Who is coordinating between the driver, passengers, FBO, and flight contact? What is the backup if the event runs late? And if you are tempted by an empty leg after a major event, be careful. Empty legs can look attractive when one-way demand is high, but they are operator-driven. They can disappear if the primary mission changes. They can be fragile when your departure is time-critical. Use empty legs only when your flexibility is real. Do not use them as the backbone of an important executive exit unless you enjoy learning hard lessons at midnight. Now here is the buyer checklist before approving a private jet after a major event. 1. Are we using on-field parking, drop and go, or an alternate airport exit? 2. Is airport access, PPR, parking, or departure reservation confirmed? 3. Where will the aircraft park after arrival? 4. What is the latest passenger showtime that protects the plan? 5. What happens if the event runs 30, 60, or 90 minutes late? 6. Is fuel planned before departure? 7. How much crew duty margin exists? 8. What ground transfer timing is built from venue to FBO? 9. What alternate airport has already been vetted? That is the difference between a private jet plan and a private jet fantasy. If your provider only talks about arriving near the venue, they are solving the easy half of the trip. The exit is the hard half. Ansri and Ziz Aids. And the exit is where the buyer finds out whether the plan was serious. If you want a sharper way to think through private jet charter before you request options, the free 10-day Jetmaster course is linked in the description and pinned comment. Use it before the quote, conversation. It will help you understand cost, aircraft fit, airport choice, route trade-offs, timing, safety questions, and the details that change the final decision. No pressure, just better preparation before the crowd starts moving. So, yes, you can often charter a private jet after a major event ends, but the smart buyer does not plan from the arrival. He plans backward from the exit. Because after a major event, the question is not whether you can arrive like a VIP. The question is whether you can leave without looking like everyone else with a more expensive problem. And don't forget, your Jetmaster journey starts now.